there is one investment that will never go wrong if you put in the work, and it's in you. I hope that motivates someone somewhere. It's taken me to levels I've always aspired to get to, but I don't know that I ever would have actually truly achieved where I wanted to get to had I not invested in myself.
Arlen, welcome to Forged in the Field podcast.
Thank you for having me, Scott.
Hey, it's been awesome getting to work with you, getting to know you.
Likewise.
And I think particularly what I'm excited for in this episode, first before we dig into that, I'm going to let people know a little bit about you, give you an intro. Yeah. So I got Arlen Stark here. He has been working alongside us at CFS for about 5 months now. Known of him for, we met a couple years ago.
2 years ago at least, I'd say.
He is our CFO. He, in my humble opinion, is a numbers extraordinaire. Has a huge aptitude for growth and a gift for seeing numbers and rooting out a lot of details, which comes from a 10 fact finder and a personality test, which we'll, I'm sure, talk about.
Yeah.
But, as we do this, Arlen, I just really want to get to know you and your story.
Yeah.
And learn a lot more about you, where all this began, and defining moments along the way, and who you are today and your aspirations for tomorrow. So
sounds great. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks for coming.
So, for my beginnings, when I think about that, for me, it starts with my mom and dad, Brian and Carol. Dad grew up in Buffalo Lake, Minnesota, actually really humble beginnings, if not like dirt poor.
Okay.
I'm talking didn't have hot water.
Really?
Till he was in high school. Yeah, like if they needed to take a hot shower, they'd like go run over to the school and use the school.
No way.
Swear to God, school facilities. Yeah. Mom kind of grew up more in that was in Buffalo Lake, Minnesota, in Renville County.
Were they town, farm?
In town.
Okay.
Like in town, like actually right off the railroad tracks. And actually even and that's the house my uncle now lives in. He bought the house from his mom and dad, or from the estate after they passed. And then before that, they had this, it was eventually tore down and condemned, but it was a house just off. There's like a cemetery hill, a softball field, and then the school's right behind it. And the house was tucked between the softball field and the school.
Okay.
So like super close proximity to the school in
Okay.
Buffalo Lake. Mom grew up kind of middle class, was born in Williston, North Dakota. Her mom and dad were like 3M lifers. But she grew up in that North St. Paul, Maplewood, close to the main 3M campus. So more of a city girl. Dad kind of a country boy.
Yep. How'd they meet?
They met at U of M Morris. It's kind of a funny story. So my dad was actually a really good athlete, and so was my mom's dad. But they were playing, and my mom was a freshman. Her brothers also happened to be at U of M Morris.
Okay.
And it was like a really windy day, and my dad bumped into my mom, like, I don't know, the bar, whatever bar they go and hang out at night in Morris, Minnesota. And my mom happened to recognize my dad. She's like, "Oh yeah, you're that guy that kicked the punt backwards today." So it was like a really windy day. I'm talking like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Horrible day to be a punter. And I think he sailed one into the air and it negative yards. Yeah. But my dad was impressed by my mom because she actually had legit football knowledge and sports knowledge, and was also an attractive young woman. So,
yep.
Yeah, they met.
That's hilarious.
After a Cougars football game.
Yeah.
Did
they win?
Yes, they never lost.
Okay, that's good.
Don't hold me to this, but if I remember right, my dad and his college buddies, they played together at Normandale when Normandale still had sports. That was like a JUCO school, junior college.
Okay.
and then they went to U of M Morris, and the whole crew just kind of followed each other for all 4 years, and really good set of athletes and football teams. Some interesting characters too. Like there's a guy, his name's Jim Noonan, great dude, but like I'm talking, grew up in, South Minneapolis, Washburn, I think Washburn High School. His parents owned a porn shop. The guy looks like a human Homie the Clown.
Yeah.
Like sideburns, bald,
man.
but just like funny guy. So like I kind of just, got exposed to some really interesting characters growing up. But coming back to my mom and dad, so they met there, had me. My mom was 19 when I was born. My dad was actually a senior, so he was graduating, and my mom was an incoming freshman. They decided to move to Hutch. She got a job at Citizens Bank and Trust here locally in the area as a teller. And my dad, he started as a truck driver for Land O'Lakes, got laid off, then found a reefer unit truck driving job at Tombstone Pizzas, delivering pizzas to gas stations and grocery stores locally in the area. And Tombstone Pizza wasn't what it is now. It was actually early stage at that point in time. Then it got bought by General Mills. Then it got bought by Kraft. Then Kraft sold it to Nestle's. And my dad was there all the way through retirement and kind of worked his way up from truck driver to salesman to a leader of a sales team to a key account manager for companies like Colburn's Cashwise would be his big accounts back then.
Oh, wow.
And then I want to say like eventually like a regional sales manager. So in the spirit of like being forged, I like jokingly say I'm forged in pizza and banking. But really it's what that means is like I got exposure to business development, sales, building teams, leading teams, individual success, team success, both from a lens of like selling product, building relationships with buyers. And then my mom kind of comes in with more of that banking, finance, lending, managing money, managing risk, compliance. So I'm kind of that blend of both of those worlds.
Right there in the middle.
Yeah. Yep. Growing up, kind of didn't ever really like school. I was always kind of bored with school.
Oh, really?
Because it came easy.
Okay.
Didn't challenge me.
Yep.
But I always naturally gravitated to math. I can actually remember early on, I gotta have been like 5. We had a house, their first house was on Bluff Street. And I had this little play area with a desk and like a light bright and these math books. And I wasn't even in kindergarten yet.
Like a phonics math book kind of thing.
Yeah, I should look up what they were. I can remember what they looked like. I can't remember the title, but it was basic math. But I would do math. I didn't even know what math was.
Yeah.
Hadn't even been taught math. But I just loved like the problem solving aspect. And it just naturally, I could see like, oh, there's a problem here to solve. And I figured it out. And I was just doing math.
Yeah.
Like early on before kindergarten. And then I had really good teachers throughout grade school and just honed that skill. And for me, it's eventually like I learned about my personality traits and strengths through, all these hosts of personality tests, Colby and being a 10 fact finder to Myers-Briggs and being an ENTJ-A, which is called the commander personality type, which is actually a really rare personality type. So I really love the Clifton Gallup StrengthsFinders 2.0.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was really fortunate enough, like in my mid-30s, I was working at US Bank and the leadership team there. It was like the first time a company actually invested in me.
Okay.
And it really unlocked some insight and data.
Sure.
And kind of gave me the roadmap to like, what are my strengths and weaknesses, but why?
And where are my blind spots?
Yeah. And, so my top leadership trait is I'm deliberate, which means I love using data, making decisions with data, using data to tell the story, all that good stuff. But I'm also a strategic, analytical, I'm an achiever, and command was in my number 5.
Okay.
Empathy is my number 34. So if you're looking for empathy, I'm not your guy. I mean, I know we joke about that, but it's true. But that just really made me realize, for those that aren't familiar with StrengthsFinders, the whole premise is lean into your strengths, do less of your bottom 5. I mean, we all have jobs, and it comes with the baggage, but the ROI on leaning into your strength, the difference is like you're innately an A student. So I'm like an A student, just innately at being deliberate, using data, strategy, analytical, achieving results. Like I'm just going to be organically really good at those things, but it also fuels what passions me. Like, so it stokes my fire, fills my cup. I'm just like, when I realize like that, I'm like, holy shit, like, why would I invest in my weaknesses?
Right.
And like the teacher that taught StrengthsFinders that day was like, not trying to discourage you from improving your weaknesses, just understand the ROI. Like my empathy, that's like saying I'm going to be a D student at empathy, always.
At best.
And the more I put into it, I'm maybe going to be a D plus.
But it's probably going to pull away from your A, your
Exactly.
natural A's.
Well, versus if you invest in your A, you're unlocking your superpowers and how to become like your version of your own rock star.
Yeah.
And that just resonated with me. And I'm like, I'm leaning into that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So, and then that just eventually, I mean, we'll get to it, but other aspects of my beginnings and origins, huge athlete, like my childhood life revolved around sports year round, was always in sports.
Okay.
Football, basketball, baseball. So I really...
All through middle school, high school?
Oh, even early elementary school.
Oh, okay.
Like as soon as I could skate, I was playing hockey. As soon as I could throw a football, I was playing football. As soon as I could dribble, I was playing basketball. Yeah. I mean, traveling, I can't remember as early as they let you start that. But so hockey, football, basketball, baseball. I really love football. I actually played a little bit of football in college for a really unique guy, John Gallardi. He's the winningest coach in Division III football history. For those that don't know, shout out to St. John's. Yeah, go Johnnies.
Yep. Our head coach was also played for Wynant. Yep. So he.
Trying to think of what else. St. John's was definitely a big step. Like I never really anticipated going to school actually in the area. I'd kind of had like bigger visions of like going to like an Arizona State or a UCLA and trying to like walk on and play football or something like that.
What?
But it's funny. I went to the career counseling center at Hutchinson High School. It's actually like trying to skip a class and get out of a test that I didn't want to take. And you could legitimately do it if you said, hey, I want to attend the such and such college recruiter session.
Yeah.
You could get out of class.
Yeah.
So I was just going to the St. John's St. Ben's recruiter session with no intent of going to St. John's St. Ben's. I was cutting English class, most likely. And you know what? It really caught my attention. Like the way the recruiter talked about the school. And it never had dawned on me like that there'd be a option around here that I was interested in. Because at Hutch, it was a real suitcase high school, meaning kids would go to college, but they'd come back. And that wasn't the pattern I was interested in. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to experience college, kind of like what my mom and dad did. Like they didn't go home on weekends. They were there to experience college and figure out and forge themselves,
Yep.
And it just kind of dawned on me like, gosh, I think maybe St. John's is interesting to me. So then I happened to actually get a letter from Coach Gallardi saying they were interested in having me come to campus. So there was some mutual interest. So my mom and dad and I, or actually my mom and I, because my dad was on the road selling, took a campus visit. And it was like love at first sight. I absolutely loved St. John's, my campus guide that guided us around that day, but it didn't dawned on me, I'm like, we can't afford this. Like, this is a liberal arts school. This is like going to Harvard.
Yeah.
It's even more expensive now, but back then it was like 25 grand a year.
Oh, wow.
And my mom and dad made a commitment to me. They're like, you know what? We can do this. You're going to have to pay for some of it, but you've got to get a B average. And I'm like, I can get B's in my sleep. This is easy.
That's it?
Yeah. So, they made that commitment to me, and I made that commitment to them, and off I went to St. John's. I think another key aspect of like my origins and roots, I like to tell this story. I really think about the origins of my name, Arlen Brian Stark, and like Arlen to its roots, it's actually got Celtic origins and it means oath. Brian has Irish roots and it's something to do with like noble promise.
Okay.
And then Stark is actually a common word in the German language. It means strong. So like I look at it as I have a strong, noble oath. Well, what does that really mean? It means like my word is my bond. I want people to know that they can count on me.
That's pretty. It seems like even in today, right? Like that is not something that exists maybe like it used to.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, it's something I really pride myself in making sure I embody every day, day in and day out. I try. I'm human. I'm not perfect.
Yep.
But
yeah, you do a pretty damn good job by my reckoning.
But that's, if I were to kind of summarizes the beginnings of Arlen, it's rooted in family, elements of faith. I grew up in kind of a mixed Lutheran Catholic household. Actually, my dad was for him to get the blessing of my mom's parents, he had to quote unquote convert to Catholicism, although he never really did.
Yeah. A little under tension or something.
Yep. So I kind of grew up in this mixed Wednesday catechism at St. Anastasia in Hutch, and then Sunday Bible study at St. John's Lutheran just outside of Winthrop.
Okay.
So, which was actually a lot of fun. But admittedly, and then I went to St. John's, and that was a really interesting religious experience. But then after I graduated, I just kind of fell out of faith, especially with some of the stuff going on with the Catholic Church really turned me off.
Yeah.
And so it kind of just turned me off to religion. I've always had a deep rooted sense of faith and belief in God, but I just kind of walked away from structured faith. And I'm kind of, this, I'm kind of trying to, in the process of rediscovering that sense of community through faith. And after my dad had passed, I actually went through a phase of being really, really angry at God. Him and I are in a much better place, but I will be completely honest and vulnerable about the fact that when my dad passed 3 years ago on Valentine's Day, I was pretty angry at God for a long time. I eventually woke up one day and said, it's not doing me any good. It's not serving me in any way. And it's time to not be angry at God anymore. I need to figure that out.
That's a pretty incredible realization, actually. I mean, just because I feel like there's just a lot of people who probably are in that same spot, right? But then to really flip it and say, like, is that really serving me? Is that making my life better to hold this? And I
actually got to give credit to the higher power. He was reaching out to me, and I was at least listening. Like,
I want to know more. Yeah.
So literally, this is the day after I had passed. I had an amazing female black lab named Winnie for 13 years, and it was the morning after my dad had died, and we're out for our daily walk. That was our thing. She loved to walk, and it's middle of winter. It's Valentine's Day, so this is February 15th. And I was more talking to my dad spiritually, crying and just dealing with the instant grief, because he passed from a sudden widowmaker heart attack. We didn't no idea he had health problems.
Shoot.
Just kind of came out of left field. But I just remember saying, and after talking to my dad, which really I admit I was also talking to God, not in a very nice way. And just, you know what, if you're listening, sometime give me a sign. And I'm out in the middle of the country. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, I kid you not, after I said that, 5 seconds later, one of my dad's best friends, Doug Rinkus, was stopped by in his pickup truck, rolled down the window, and said, "Hey, Arlie, how you doing today?"
What?
Yeah, just crazy. And so I'm like, holy shit.
The odds
Can
that
I
he
swear?
is, yeah.
I'm like, holy shit. Like, that's pretty amazing. Like, that's hard to ignore.
Yeah.
You know, being also stubborn German Polak,
Yep.
wasn't ready to
Give
lean
credit.
in and give in and submit, but also not ignoring the clear data point that I just acquired either. That 10 fact finder can't ignore that either.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
And there was just a lot of signs like that. I remember another night, dear family friend in Hutch, named Ryan Heining. He was actually the first one at our doorstep the day my dad had passed. Like, just like basic, like dropping off toilet paper and water and checking in on us.
Yep.
But we were at his house, and I just had like the greatest day. And it'd been like, this is maybe like 6 to 9 months after my dad had passed. Gorgeous, like late summer, early fall evening. It's dark out. He's having a little bonfire in his back patio. And I'm like, he's asking me how I'm doing. I'm just like, honestly, Ryan, God is good and life is good. And in the moment I said that, we saw this like light in the trees. I chalk it up, I swear it was us witnessing the Holy Spirit in some physical form.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan was getting ready to actually gear up for this 90-day program that starts at the beginning of the year called Exodus. And he'd been trying to get me to do Exodus for a couple years now. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm done being angry at God. Clearly, something is reaching out to me, trying to pull me in. I'm like, I'm just not going to resist anymore. I'm going to lean in.
Yeah.
And I did the Exodus, and really kind of part of that brotherhood and fraternity just really repaired my relationship with God.
I like that you used relationship, because I mean, where I grew up, it was like something you attended, right? It was a belief, but it was more attached to like a practice than a relationship. And I think that's so fundamentally different.
Yeah, no, and that's how I view my faith, is it's really through that relationship. Like, whether you believe it's a he or a she, I'm in the he camp. He is always listening. It's whether or not are your ears receiving and listening back. Like, I can think, what was it, last summer, a neighbor of mine had just found out he's got like some form of like stage 4 cancer, and it's one of the kinds you don't want. And his wife told me, and they've got a gorgeous little black lab, and every time I see her, it reminds me of my Winnie.
Yeah.
And I'm on my daily walk, and I'm coming down the hill, and across from their house, he's got a field, and he plants it for the deer and the animals and the pheasants, and he's a pheasant hunter like myself.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, knowing the circumstances of like you're facing your own mortality.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't usually, you'd see him on a regular basis. You don't see him that often. And he is out, it's a beautiful day, and his dog's in the field. And you could tell she's like chasing something. And I remember just saying, God, wouldn't it be amazing if a pheasant flushed right now and I got to witness this? Like, just a man, like I remember talking to him and him telling me, like, you know, one of the last things I want to do is just go on a pheasant hunt with Edda's the dog's name.
Yeah.
And right then and there, a rooster flushed.
Really?
And to like witness his like state of being change from like that downtrodden, I'm battling cancer, to elated in life, and a pheasant just flushed. And like to watch that transformation, it was all through some kind of higher power.
Yeah.
I can't ignore the coincidence of these things happening like simultaneously.
That's incredible.
Or another time is when I visited my dad at his gravesite. I try to, you know, on Father's Day or his birthday, or if it's not too horrible out on Valentine's Day, I'll go out there. And it's like is either the first or second time I visited, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try to go 2 for 2 and pull the "Are you listening?" card. My dad was always a jokester.
Yeah.
And, you know, just poured out, gave him the update on things, and just, you know, unleashed all that emotion and got done and just, hey, if you're listening, give me a sign. And then like in that moment, a turkey walks through the cemetery. Like, I don't know what that meant, but it just, to me, it's funny. Like it was some kind of sign.
Yeah.
So
So I think there was a point when I was distant, like all that's just coincidence, right? It doesn't matter. But man, when you let it be significance, the quality of your life changes so dramatically.
For me, a really forging moment. So my mom was sick last year. She'd been battling diverticulitis for years and called me one morning on a Saturday morning at like 6 a.m. Like,
What is diverticulitis?
It's a digestive issue in your intestines and just it flares up and it's really painful. Well, she was in the hospital. She's like, you got to come meet me at the hospital. I took an ambulance ride and turns out like her whole intestinal colon system was completely blocked. Like I'm talking, sorry, Mom, for the TMI, but couldn't even pass gas.
Yeah.
And so they rushed her up to Methodist and
Sorry, Mom.
had to like have eventually emergency surgery to remove a section of her colon. And, she had to deal with, the colostomy and stoma and the bag and the shit bag and all that fun. But in that moment, like my mom was really sick. Like she's a youthful mid-60s. Like I watched her age to where she looked like her mom in her 90s over in a 2-day span. Yeah, it was really scary. But during that, I honestly got on my knees and submitted to God and said, it is not her time.
Yeah.
And since I did that, this like weight has been lifted from my soul, if that makes any sense. Like I just don't carry that.
It's not your burden.
Yeah. And it's like, the first time in my life, like I truly submitted to something. And I think you know me well enough to know, like I'm not the kind of guy to just submit to something and
You're
back
a
down.
commander.
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
that was a very impactful moment in my forge, if you will.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. That is so. The challenge of that to humble.
Very, very humbling.
Yeah.
But also rewarding. Like it was a form of self-forgiveness.
Okay.
Like at least it was for me. I don't know like how to describe it, but like I mentioned Exodus, and one of my big things and one of the tenets of Exodus is to like truly give yourself and your fraternity brothers through the journey grace.
Yeah.
And I've really kind of looked at like those are also emotional states. Like grace is right below like love. Like Jesus talks about forgiveness and religion talks about the power of forgiveness. And I eventually realized later in life, it's actually not about, as much as it's about forgiving others, it's actually finding a way to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
And when you can release that and not have to carry that on, that's a burden that you don't feel until you're not bearing it.
Especially when you're trying to hold yourself to, as high of a standard as you would, right?
Right. And my nature, like I'm a very self-critical
achiever,
individual and achiever. Yes. So like I inherently put a higher burden on myself than I would others, but it was just so freeing to sort of have these moments later in life. And it's simply it's an act of forgiveness.
I'm really glad you shared that. That's powerful, man. I hope somebody hears that. Aside from me,
no, me too, because it truly is. Like I'm speaking from experience, and I truly hope others who've experienced it share it, but also the ones that need it in their lives. I hope you find your form of grace or submission to God, because it's changing it. To me, it's the key ingredient to getting out of your 40 days of struggle. Mm-hmm. I've been in mine, you've been in yours.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think a lot of instances in the Bible, like when you get to that state of submission, that's part of getting out of your 40 days.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm gonna have to do some thinking on that. And maybe that's been my problem, is just having too dang much pride to finally submitting.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. So, all right, you were in college, kind of going way back.
Yep.
Love that rabbit trail. I'd go down that one any day. And yeah, I mean, it's
actually, I got a good one related to that. That it was a really forging moment. I talked about the agreement, commitment with my parents to get B's. Well, I violated that commitment first semester.
Oh.
Arlen had a good time at St. John's his first semester. And it was my golden birthday. And I came home, first winter semester had just gotten done. I'd actually just gotten done taking a calc final. Wasted. I'm talking I couldn't hold my pencil for probably the first 15 minutes of the test. And I'm getting like an A- on the calc test, drunk. And it wasn't my fault. My buddies kind of kidnapped me, if you will, and force-fed me because we were going to Twisted Sister at the Delwyn later that night.
okay.
And between St. Joe and Wake Park.
Yeah.
And they wanted a pregame, and they knew it was my birthday, so they wanted me to participate. And they could care less that I had a calc final. So got through that, went and did the Delwyn, had a great night.
And you were 21, right?
Yes. Yes, of course.
Yes, officer.
But then I get home, and my mom's waiting for me. Already had my report card in one hand, the tuition bill in the other. And I mean, I could sleep through class in high school and get A's and A-, and I should easily be able to get B's and A-. And I had like a 2.0, like not good.
Yeah.
And she read me the riot act. It wasn't hello, wasn't happy birthday. It was you blankety blank, bleepity bleep. I want my blank and money back. And then it was a big hug. And then it was don't ever freaking do that again. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
So I think that says a lot about how I was raised. There was accountability. There were expectations. You made a commitment. You didn't hold up your end of the bargain, buddy. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I spent the next 3.5 years getting things back on track. I graduated with like a 3.3 GPA. Really dug myself out of a hole.
Yep.
Ended up driving school bus for the St. Cloud School District, K through 12. I drive for sports teams. Yeah, it's actually great. I love watching the local athletics. Actually, something my dad did part-time is he drove athletic bus in Hutch for, was it Lindner Bus Company at the time before they sold. So yeah, kind of did that. And, my college experience was a good one. Had a lot of fun, made some great friendships that I still preserve to this day. Actually, another defining moment later in life was a good friend of mine, Mike Cronenbush. He's actually the CEO at Novation Credit Union now. We were golfing, and this was post my dad's death, post selling the business, and I was in transition in life and really didn't know what I was going to do next. It's like the first time in 2.5 decades. I knew what I was going to do since my junior year of high school. This is like the first time in a long time, I don't know what my plan is. And I was really struggling to figure out what I was going to do next professionally. And Mike we were golfing, and he asked me, how are you doing? And I had the courage to really be vulnerable with someone in my inner circle. Just honestly, Mike, not that good. I can't figure it out. I don't know what I want. The rare time I get an interview, I suck because I'm not committed to what I'm interviewing about. It shows, I know this. He's like, you need to get back into finance. He's like, even if it's not the long-term answer for you, your skill set is so well-rounded. The modern day finance professional isn't what it used to be. It's not just about the numbers and closing the books. Like, you got to understand the numbers just as well as you do the operations and the compliance aspects and the risks and the the logistics, or you got to understand the business soup to nuts. And he's like, and you're, the product side of it and the marketing side of it and the sales side of it and the business development side of it. And he's like, you've got most of those skill sets and experiences. And he's like, and even if you don't like it, just get your foot in the door and then make a lateral move into something that's more interesting to you. And I'm like, you know what? That's really good advice.
Because you'd been what up to this point?
I wasn't working.
No, but I mean, prior to selling, what was your position?
Oh, well, I had just sold the restaurant business. And before that, I was, what was my title? Executive Vice President of Strategic Business Development.
Okay.
Was my title.
Okay.
That was at FreightWaves, before I left FreightWaves. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to lean into that. And so thankful for that, because like I said, I really feel like I've finally found my calling professionally as a CFO. Like, it fuels my natural strengths and passions.
Yeah.
And really starts to unlock my superpowers. And I can put all those other skills that I've amassed from all my other jobs. I remember telling a former boss who, after I'd left FreightWaves, he's like, I'll help you out. But his question to everyone was always, what do you want to be when you grow up? And what do you want? And I remember telling him, I want something that gives me the opportunity to take all the things I've done in one and put them to use.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing that. Like, you put that out in the universe. I didn't know what that meant. Like, I was still trying to figure that out. But to me, that was my way of saying, I want to be a CFO. Because that's kind of what CFOs do.
Yep.
So now that's what I'm doing.
So why manure? Why are you in the ag industry, right? I mean, you were in trucking with FreightWaves, doing some logistics stuff. What before that?
I mean, I've done all kinds of things. Everything from, so I was at PricewaterhouseCoopers. That was a Big Four accounting firm. Most of my clients were in like the banking space.
Okay.
I decided to really focus on a niche practice. It was called the mortgage banking practice. So all my clients were like U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, etc. I think that was it's what I knew. It's what my mom did. I just had a familiarity with it. Then after that, I went to a startup hedge fund. That was actually really interesting. That was the investment thesis for the fund was distressed credit investing in airplanes. So like, we'd literally buy and own like leases and aircraft and then lease them back to the airline and then cash flow. Or we'd actually buy, I remember like we were buying a 747 and like it had to land in a certain state because it had to be a tax-friendly jurisdiction for the purchase of the aircraft.
So it'd land.
Yep. Land, we buy it, do the agreement, and then we own it, and then we sell it for parts.
Oh.
So, but that was a investment thesis in a hedge fund. They had this like whiz kid that just understood the airline industry soup to nuts and had all the contacts and knew all the movers and shakers.
Yeah.
But then the hedge fund was heavily levered in credit default swaps. Have you seen the movie The Big Short?
I have not, no.
But I literally lived that. The mortgage crisis tanked, saw the bailouts. Well, this company unfortunately was heavily invested in that, and like we'd grown. I think I was the 10th employee. We grew to like 100 people, and I was part of a 75 headcount reduction in workforce overnight in the 08-09 recession. Talk about another forging moment. So like, that was actually one of the best blessings, because I'd already been thinking about, I actually hated accounting back then. Oh yeah, because it was so routine. It was the same thing. Close the books.
Data entry, not solving problems.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't fueling my strengths and passions.
Yeah.
And so I'd already been contemplating, like, I need to make a change. The thing I didn't like about it, I usually like to do that on my terms, not someone else's. And it couldn't have been in a worse possible time, during a recession. Yeah. So actually, I just bought a house. It took me probably 2 years to get back on track. Actually, got foreclosed on, lost my house, had to deal with all that. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. But I was, again, talking about the submit, I wasn't taking a step back. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to leap forward into what was next. And so I partnered with a boutique consulting firm called Salo and started doing like executive consulting and project management and product management. And I just did really well. I've always kind of excelled professionally, regardless of what I did. I just kind of have that mindset and skill set. And that did a really good job for US Bank and actually worked with them on an M&A transaction. And it took like 12 months to do the due diligence and actually get the deal done. And I, by default, kind of became the de facto subject matter expert on what they were buying. So they hired me to run it.
Okay.
So I did that for 6 years. And it just so happens the seller is the guy who started FreightWaves, kind of maintained that relationship and got really sick of federally regulated, nationally chartered banking.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not as much of a cowboy as like you are as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I do have a willingness to take risk, and that was a zero risk tolerance culture.
Oh, yeah. It's all pennies.
Just wears on you over time.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a certain type of, I'm not trying to knock them. It was actually a great place who invested in the StrengthsFinders and really gave me the roadmap to figure out how to be a better leader. So I'm actually really grateful, but I realized it's not the culture for me. So when I went to FreightWaves, was the 5th employee. I mean, we had an idea and a really good team. Raised some seed capital. That was actually a really cool experience. The whole theory behind FreightWaves was actually founded on, the premise was over the road rate per mile freight had become so commoditized that the longer distance you went, the more volatile the price was, that companies should consider entering into a tradable futures contract to de-risk their exposure to price risk. So we actually created a futures contract and a tradable marketplace for over-the-road freight.
I couldn't even begin to fathom how to do that.
But the funny thing is what I learned about that is it was one of those things where you think it's a problem worth solving, but it wasn't, because it's really complicated to get approval to invest in a new financial instrument. We had a data license that we were under a gag order and couldn't share who the source information was from. And that really stymied people's willingness to invest. If you couldn't corroborate the source of the data, how do we know we can rely on it?
Why would they have done that? I mean,
Can you
share?
No, I can't.
Okay.
But
got it.
There were business reasons and intellectual property reasons behind it.
All right.
So.
Yep.
But that also turned into how a business can still grow through a pivot. And what had happened is we'd acquired all these alternative data sets. And you know what Freight needed was a market intelligence platform and insight into what's happening in the marketplace. So we built a product called Sonar, and we're really kind of following the Bloomberg playbook of, Bloomberg has the Bloomberg terminal. Mm-hmm. They've got a news business, and then they had an events business, and all kind of worked together. And so FreightWaves formed a news organization, and like overnight it became the world's largest digital media outlet for freight information. And the focus was on not just what's happening in the markets, but taking a position on what's happening in the trucking markets. Usually a lot of news is really, neutral. We were actually taking sides on things. And that really resonated with people. And then there was also a surge in freight tech with like IoT and machine learning. Those were kind of the big things at the time. Blockchain and cryptocurrency was really in its infancy. So then one of the other interesting things I did is built a blockchain standards organization, a nonprofit called the Blockchain and Transport Alliance. That was a really interesting endeavor.
And that was to
actually create industry standards that were open source and royalty free to leverage the blockchain technology. The transportation industry is kind of a pay to play system through all the, what are they called, dispatch systems, like the TMWs and the McLeod softwares. And it's all, I hate to say it, but Band-Aid and
Yeah.
Band-Aids
Yep.
and bubble gum and chicken wire
Yep.
wrapped around what's the data exchange methodology that they follow. It's eluding me at the time, but it's an antiquated batch data exchange, non API based, and it wasn't working because it was all built to make these companies profit, not give you the information and insight you need in a real time manner.
So it's not really serving.
It wasn't serving the
customers'
companies;
needs.
it was serving the technology.
Yeah.
There was a desire to try to change that paradigm shift through using an emerging technology, that being blockchain.
Yeah. Okay. So FreightWaves until
COVID happened. And then the writing was on the wall. I just didn't like Tennessee. Actually, I couldn't enjoy Tennessee. I've got allergies. Tennessee, like I was in Chattanooga, it's like a pollen hot zone in the world. Like for 3 months out of the year, it doesn't matter what color your car is, it's yellow at the end of the day.
Really?
Oh yeah. And I was like so sick. Like I thought I just was always getting the flu. It took me like 9 months to figure out it was the allergies. And I couldn't enjoy it down there. And I hate the heat. I'm a bigger guy. It's really hot and humid. So just Tennessee was not for me. It was time to come back to Minnesota and figure out how to get back home.
So what were there was a couple good things.
Right? Yeah. FreightWaves was like one of those, like we were winning and kicking butt and taking names up until COVID happened. And it just really wreaked havoc on the business, disconnect amongst leadership, weren't really solving the problems at the core. It was an instance where, great founding leader, but didn't have the skill set to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Sorry, Craig, but I still love you, buddy.
Truth is the truth, right?
Yep. But no, a lot of good came from that. Like one of my best friends, I was just talking to him the other night, but really learned and forged just how to succeed through a team just based on an idea. Mm-hmm. Like we were pre-revenue when I started there.
Really?
Yeah. And grew that to like I'd probably not say, but around $20 million annual revenue business from nothing in a very short amount of time, like within 4 years, 3 years. Yeah.
Crazy. So then you move home.
Yep. Come back home, buy the restaurant. I was kind of...
Oh, that was here you bought it?
Yeah. Yep. Bought the restaurant.
Did you move right to your home on the lake?
No, that was back. That was down in Lake City. So I actually went from Chattanooga to Lake City. So I got back to the state of Minnesota. Sorry.
Okay. Yep.
After I did that for 2 years, sold it, and I literally sold the restaurant in January. My dad died in February and came back home in March.
Oh,
so I've been back in the area for about, I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 years now.
So were you down near Lake City where your uncle or your dad's friend, which one?
No, when I had the restaurant, I was in Lake City.
When you were on your walk with Winnie.
Oh, that was here in Hutch.
That was here.
That was here in Hutch. Yep.
Okay. And then you're on the golf course. Your buddy says, get into finance.
Yep. And so I leaned into that. Luckily, another boutique consulting firm called MMC. Shout out to Monica McCracken, the founder and CEO over there. They had a position for a interim CFO. Their CFO had just gotten let go. It was at a CDFI in St. Paul, and the interim CFO had been let go. MMC placed the interim CFO. He was a contractor, ended up getting a job with the Bezos Academy. So they needed to backfill the interim CFO that they placed because the company was doing a long-term search to really find the long-term fit, but they still needed a CFO in the interim. So I step in, I applied for the job, got it, was a salaried contractor at MMC. It was actually a great gig. It's actually where I found my coach Lauren. She was MMC offered. It's one of the best benefits I've seen a company offer. Is you had free access to a professional coach once a week. Every employee or contractor at MMC had access to this.
Really?
So I, decided to lean into that. Forged a great relationship with Lauren, is her name, and she's still my professional coach to this day. When I left MMC, so Return, I was with before I came to CFS, I was actually a contractor through MMC, and Return was a client that I brought on at MMC. They had an interim CFO need after I wrapped up the other project. It's like, all right, I got to figure out my next engagement. And, they were presenting me with opportunities. Like Kenny, Monica was like having coffee with me one day, and she's just like, how does this one sound? I'm like, honestly, Monica, that sounds horrible. And she's like, well, like, I can't just have you on the bench. Like, you got to be doing something. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take some initiative and create my own opportunity then.
Yeah.
And just happened to call Adam at Return and just was following up because the week I got the gig at the CDFI, I was also talking to Return, and they were interested, but I made a commitment to the other gig, and I just let them know, like, hey, this is what I think you need. Mm-hmm. I can't commit anymore. I took something else. I'm sorry, but let's stay in touch. So I just was following up to see how it was going, because I heard they'd placed someone else, and turns out that guy had lost his capacity and had just given notice. And so timing couldn't have been better for my outreach to Adam. So I got that. It was supposed to just be like a 20-hour-a-week gig. Became full-time real quick.
Yeah.
And then 5-6 months later, was talking about converting to being an employee and being the full-time
nice
CFO at Return, which is then how we
long were you there for?
Kind of met. 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, I was wondering what your connect or why. It was
a LinkedIn ad.
Oh, really?
How I found Adam in Return. Yeah.
Yeah, because we had met, just humoring talks of merger, right?
Yep.
And I think one of the things that I can still remember the phone conversation. It was following some of those, and we were deciding not to pursue it.
Yep.
And one of your parting statements on the phone was, you're like, hey, I don't know what my role is going to be, but I really want to be a part of the coalition it's going to take to have our industry value nutrient density.
Yeah. And
right?
manure.
And
for like
manure.
Full agronomic value,
Yep.
not just NPK.
And that, we had a lot of hours and hours of conversation, but there's like certain blocks or sentences that really stick. Mm-hmm. And that one did. Why? When did the nutrient density thing start to ring to you, or what did you?
For me, it's several things. As you know, I'm on a personal health journey. I've had a horrible diet. Being a foodie, I love cuisine, but I'm also now 47. Metabolism isn't what it used to be. I got to really be better about the fuel that I put in my body, and just all the stuff that's out on the news and the Maha movement and the things that, JFK is doing. I really am big on that bandwagon of, we as a society and as a country, like, really got to batten down the hatches and take people to task and hold the food industry more accountable with what they sell us as a product as consumers. And it's shit,
But shit's better.
But that's not actually solving the problem. I'm very passionate about what is solving the problem at the core. And I believe it starts with our soil. And there's enough data out there, being the 10 fact finder that I am, is what produces more healthy soil than anything out there. It's the use of manure. Manure creates healthier and more nutrient dense crops. Like, we've seen the data behind closed doors. You know, it's real. And then layer on top of that, this now starts to feed a lot of my innate strengths. It's, you know, it's talk about manure and how it's viewed as a commodity. I mean, it's commoditized by proxy to the big six fertilizers. You know, and while I get that's the current state, I would like to change that.
Yeah.
I'd like manure to be
100%.
priced on its own basis. Obviously, there's NPK, that's the macros, and that's the majority of the value string. But why aren't we talking about secondary nutrients, the micronutrients, the biological value, the carbon value? Like, there's a much broader value conversation that needs to be had, and I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have the skill sets to really help make that happen. So that's sort of what's fueling my passion for why I'm at CFS, why I'm in this space, why nutrient density.
So one of the things that I feel very strongly that we will succeed at being a part of making this happen.
Yeah, it's not a if, it's a when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the things, though, I know you feel the same, but what are the things that make us different? Why are we going to succeed?
Our culture. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Our culture is our competitive advantage. It's our people. That's our focus. You know, I think we've got an amazing culture builder in Al. He's like nothing I've ever seen before in my career. I've been at a lot of companies under a lot of leaders, seen a lot of things, and I've never seen the galvanizing effect that's happening. And we're building something very special from a culture standpoint. And then I think about all the opportunities we have from a business development standpoint for off takes and other states and right in our backyard. And I think it's the timing couldn't be better to sort of help make this transformation and be at the leading front of it as it's kind of like pioneer.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I think it's amazing how I think every industry has this to some degree, right? We're in unexplored territory or an overlooked. You kind of feel like you're in Alaska, right? The last frontier. But we spent so many years trying to understand manure. Why? What if it came from this style barn? What if it was that, right? And all the different changes. What if it's pelletized? Not knowing we were doing something different. And you start having conversations with people and they're doing say what? Well, it does that, you know, and because being farmers, we were trying to grow crops and you would have just a crap crop one year. Like, well, what happened? Well, I used that manure. Well, it says I put enough on, but it didn't produce. Or maybe it turned yellow in the middle of the summer, right?
Yep.
And so because we were farmers trying to understand the livelihood, and like we had a livelihood to protect.
Yep.
We also wanted to make sure that our customers' livelihoods were served. And that's the mantra, the motto that we also keep today, is we need our customers to succeed, right?
Yeah.
Going back to culture, though, in our company, I feel like one of the unique things that we have is just the ability to roll up our sleeves, solve problems happily.
Yeah.
Right.
Servant leaders to problem solving.
And it's fun. It's not that you wish for problems, they're coming for free anyways, right? Our joke is, well, we have job security because we're problem solvers, so there's days we create our own.
But for me, it takes me back to the story I was telling about my childhood in math. Like, I gravitated towards solving problems even though I didn't know what I was doing. Like, that's just what it's a natural passion for me. So and to me, there's a problem that needs to be solved, that's worth solving. And it's
Yeah, I mean, we look at what manure is today, right? And you especially these liquid manures where the furthest it goes is 3 miles from a farm, probably. And especially when you get these huge animal yards, and the soil can't handle that many gallons year over year over
right.
year.
Then you get into over application, especially of phosphorus, and then that brings in over regulation. That doesn't do anybody any good. And I mean, there needs to be some solutions, and I think there's products that are coming online that we'll be able to make available that can help solve that and mitigate that.
What are you most excited about with, I mean, there's so much, but like, pick your top 2.
Man, it's more like a top 5.
Okay,
but,
yeah, I'm game. Let's do it.
I love growth. And growth is a very broad statement. Like, there's growth as an individual, there's growth as a professional, there's financial growth, there's leading and building a team and helping them grow and forge them, if you will.
Yeah.
And I get all of that in spades. It's like growth is definitely top. I feel like I've found a home professionally that I've been seeking for a really long time. Like, there's a two-way culture fit, if you will. Me for CFS and CFS for me. And I don't, like, I say to you and Al all the time, like, I can just show up and be me.
Well, that's the key, right? Like, we don't need everybody
with no
here.
regrets, no BS, no politics. And my shadow, like, you know, we all have strengths.
Yeah.
And those strengths have a weakness and a shadow, but where that shadow showed up elsewhere, it doesn't show up here for some reason. And it's not just me.
Yeah.
So
it's a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's.
But I think even there's like the way my strengths cast a shadow, for some reason it resonates at CFS more than it has at other places.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Like, I can still be direct and not deal with the BS that comes from directness like I have at other places here.
Okay.
Like, I feel like there's this acceptance of my genuine, authentic self that, you know, when I am that ultra direct version of me, or you do get the no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, I don't even know how to say it or describe it.
Chemistry?
Yes, that would be the word.
Yeah.
Chemistry. What would all be the other big ones? I mean, we were talking about this at lunch today, Al and I were, and that's not my job.
Yeah.
But even like, I'd like in the fall, I'd love to sit in a spreader and run a spreader and just experience that. You know, I've driven beat truck, so why can't I drive a shit spreader?
You can.
So
You can. Yeah. You will.
Yeah. But there's that like desire to be a part of the team to that level. Like, I don't need to sit in my ivory tower and in my office and just be the CFO and the numbers guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can do that, but so
it is one of my struggles with that is like, we're always going to be busy. There's never going to be a day like, well, you know what? I got nothing to do today, so let's just go spread. Like, no, it doesn't work out like that, right?
Yeah.
You got to be like, you know what? Plugging in this week, I'm going, and that it's going to be fine if it waits a day.
Yeah. I love the team. Like, I love our leadership team. I love my team. I love the way it's one of our core values. I'd say our core values aren't fake corporate platitudes and jargon. It's how we operate. It's how we hold each other accountable. It's how we try to elevate each other and our team members. We live it and breathe it and mean it. And I love that. It's part of I spent 3 years working from home, and I have the flexibility to work from home, but as you know, I rarely do.
Yeah.
Because that office is like a gravity beam, you know, it just pulls you in.
Yep. Like a good black hole, right?
Yeah.
Like it just pulls you.
Exactly. And there's like, so there's something intangible going on, and it's kind of this sausage of all those things.
Pranks with the coyote decoy going around, and
The shit king costume for Ron.
Yeah.
But even like, so to feel that comfortable, and I hadn't even started yet.
Yeah.
And to do that kind of joke, like, really says something about the culture. Because I normally am a very private, guarded.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's something I've been working on from a growth standpoint, to be more vulnerable, be more like my dad, and be more fun, jovial, joking. Like, he was a total prankster and jokester. Some epic pranks over the years. So.
Okay. Oh, interesting. There's things I wouldn't have guessed.
What are yours?
What do you mean
your top 3, top 2, top 5?
I have a dream of having the best people around that are paid so well. They absolutely love what they do. They're committed with a passion. It's not work, right? And they're so high paid that, I mean, if they want to go find another job, they can, but they're going to be losing more than just dollars, right?
Take a hit.
Yep. And we're making a difference. Like, we're legitimately changing the way the world values. We'll start with food, right? Mm-hmm. And the way that all begins is from the soil. So you got to start with the soil, but you got to work backwards. So
solve it at the source.
Trying to figure out that, but it's not just that. It's about the people, because if you do it all by yourself, what's it all worth?
Yeah.
And admittedly, there's days I struggle with that because I get so in my own head with ideas. You can't let them out during a meeting, so you got to spend some time alone, right? But then you got to also have the people that you go back to work with. So
use the impact filter, Scott.
Yep.
It's there for that reason.
It is. So that part, I think, is the most exciting, right? Like, it's a group of people. We do very, very well, and it's not even just about changing the world as much externally as like internally with ministry of just sharing our faith journey, creating that richness, and not dollars and cents, but chocolate peanut butter richness, right? And being very, very intentional about that. That's kind of a really big one, right?
Clearly.
That's your number one. But yeah, just, I think the challenge, call it growth, but the challenge, the problem solving of like, sometimes it feels like you're looking at a 10,000-foot cliff and you're standing on the ground going, how are we going to do this? Right?
One staircase at a time.
Yep. And as hard as that is,
one step in the staircase.
If I'm not doing something like that, I'm probably wreaking havoc somewhere else. So like, I see it in my own son, right? Like, if he doesn't have something productive to do, he's usually raising with a Z, right?
Yeah.
He's tearing something down somewhere else. So, just conquering with that group of people something that seems impossible, and just really getting the opportunity to shape and change. And
I think we really have an amazing opportunity to do exactly that.
When I look at how much change we've had in the last 6 months, 5 months ago you were just kind of coming for our 2-day annual, right?
Yep.
And I think about, that feels like 2 years ago.
It does, but I think it's a combination of, like, think about that 2-day offsite. Like, we really came together as a leadership team. The building blocks of trust and what was the exercise, what the book, the 5 dysfunctions.
Yep.
Like we really don't have the dysfunctions, or where we've had them, like we've been able to get through them.
Yep.
And like we're just, I think, laser focused on preparing to scale for hockey stick growth.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a sense of just confidence and faith that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yes.
And then along the way, we started to right size people's pay already. Like some of the things you've already talked about, we're actually starting to do those things. We're hiring. We need to bring on more sales capacity. Curious to learn how the interview went today with the candidate.
Oh yeah.
So there's just a lot of like excitement and anticipation, right?
That's a great way of saying it, right? Like a little bit like Christmas Eve night, right?
Yeah.
Santa's coming.
Present. Like there's gonna be a great present, right?
Yep.
Like, we're getting a good present.
Yep.
And it's kind of like we know what Santa's got in the box.
We think we have a good idea.
Yeah. Yep. So, but that's like there's also okay. There's a lot of work that we need to do to be ready for that.
Yeah.
There comes the change, and that's
there's a bigger team we got to build, a better team, right? It never ends.
But to me, that's exciting. Like that's the kind of stuff that fills my cup. Like I'd love to coach, mentor, teach, elevate. Getting my team to go to the next level, create growth opportunities for them. Like if I'm not doing that, if we're not doing that, we're not doing our jobs. We're failing as leaders.
I want you to talk a little bit about your coaching, because I, not growing up in sports, kind of a really scarce that we didn't have extra. I didn't understand the true value of coaching, and quite literally when I moved here in 2015, one of my goals was to be so self-sufficient that if Armageddon came, what do you need? I can do it, right? Like, and it was a lot about me. But there came a point where I realized, like, you can do a couple things well, more than that, okay, and a whole bunch of things not well at all, right? And being coached and being able to see that, I started to understand the value of coaching. So what in your journey did that look like, right? So you were working for Monica?
For me, there was just one day I came to this realization of there is one investment you can make that will never go wrong. And it's an investment in you. You just have to put in the work. And it's a reap what you sow situation. There's an element of like, to me, coaching is just another word for therapy. Like shout out to Lauren Mays, my coach. I say this to her all the time. She is my secret weapon. She has unlocked and helped me take my leadership to levels on an expedited basis that I don't know I would have ever gotten to on my own. Like she's opened a set of tools and expanded my toolkit. And it's more about like being centered and managing my emotions and not letting my emotions take over, not being centered in fear, being centered in happiness, peace, calm, tranquility, grace. Even though, yes, there's always fear, you can acknowledge it, but the key is not letting it take over and converting you to that scarcity mindset and starting to make decisions from that base of fear-based emotions. But I'm that, quintessential Midwest jock. Therapy's a joke, like I did counseling to try to save a marriage. I'm actually divorced since 2018. Very amicable divorce, but counseling there actually made me realize how incompatible for each other we were. And it was a real awakening, but it was also a who problem. I didn't like the therapist at all. Now I found a coach that really like I trust, and I'm willing to be so vulnerable
Yeah.
and really peel back those layers of that onion. And even like some of the big aha moments, it's all about the mindset. Like I remember Lauren asking me one day, like, if you're in the eye of the storm, how do you feel? And I'm like, I'm just trying to survive the storm. And I want the storm to pass. She's like, you know how I look at the storm? I dance in it. And it just really made me think, like, holy cow, think about that.
Yeah.
The difference in mental state of
How
being.
you choose to live.
And it's a choice. And it's all about your attitude and your mindset. And we all can choose how we thrive in that storm.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've really been challenging myself, like, okay, her version is she wants to dance in the storm. How do I take the energy from the storm and put it to use?
I think you look good.
So
too.
I'm thriving in a storm, not just surviving in it, but like re-energizing from it, using it as a power source, like in a good way,
capturing the energy of it. Or
And that is a basic, in my opinion, mental choice that anybody can make.
Yeah.
And it gets into the whole, like, what's the having a vision and envisioning things.
Yep.
It starts there.
Yep.
But if your vision is rooted in, well, I'm just trying to survive and get by, well, you're just going to get more of that.
That's your mentality. That's
So, I mean, there've been so many moments like that in my 3-year plus journey of investing in me and having a professional coach. And even when it was time I was losing the benefit, I'm like, well, I'll just pay for it out of pocket. I don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's that valuable to me. And I'll spend thousands of dollars a year on that because it's worth it.
Yeah, your investment in you.
Yeah. And whether it's in my personal life, my dating life, professionally, like, it's my choice every week. Yeah. Or now we meet every other week, but where are my needs?
Is that like an hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And it's some of the best money I've ever spent. But you got to put in the work. You got to be vulnerable. You get out of it what you put into it.
Open those dark, scary corners up.
Yep. But they become not so scary. And again, it's the submission, submit.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that's. There's so much freedom. It's work, but it's freedom.
Yeah. And there's a payoff too.
Yeah.
And it's maybe not in dollars and cents payoff. It's in becoming and aligning with your authentic self and showing up how you've always wanted to show up. And it's kind of, to me, it's a state of being. Mm-hmm. And even, the fascinating thing is, like, it's so abundantly clear when someone else is in a scarcity, fear-based mindset. Yeah. It is, like, so obvious, and they can't even see it themselves. Yeah.
It's because that's their perception. That's how they've lived. That's how they truly see.
They don't know any better.
The world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part's been really eye-opening. But so now that you have the awareness, then it's, okay, how do you apply it to yourself? Because it's not about them.
Nope.
It's look in the mirror.
Yeah, that's all you can control.
Yep.
Some days is better than others.
Yes. Yep, there's good days, there's bad days, there's in between, but.
Looking ahead, so you pick your 5 years, 2 years, 10 years, whatever it is. And we're going to be successful at this. What does that mean to you, right? Personally, professionally,
I mean, I'm confident the success will come. It's more, the things that are more important to me are, like, honoring my dad. Like, his mantra was always make the most of today because you're not guaranteed tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And how ironic. I learned that the hard way with his death. And so it's like, there's just a value set for me on, like, how I show up every day, how I continue to forge myself and be a better version of me. That's what's important to me. And I know and have a deep sense of faith and belief that if I do that, whatever form of success God has planned for me will come.
Yeah.
That's
just having that complete faith in his will for
us.
us.
And really it's like where I have a big area to grow is submit to his plan. It's not my plan, it's his plan. I'm working on that.
I think we can say the same. That's a we thing.
Yeah. Beyond that, I'm just continue to make the most of each day, enjoy lake life. Like I'm really blessed to have the lake place.
It's beautiful.
I love showing it and sharing it with others. Like I don't need to be selfish.
Yeah.
So whether it's family, friends, even having the company out, pontoon rides, grilling out, again, all things I love and enjoy. But now it's turning those into shared experiences. I'd say the big gap, I don't want to be single. I would love to find a partner. So any of the ladies out there listening.
Oh yeah, you can have a line at your door. His address is.
Funny enough, I had a dating service call me today out of the blue.
Really?
Yeah. So like those are the things that are important to me. I just know the success will come. I really want to like create growth opportunities for others. And while I'm confident there will be financial success, and I think there's smatterings of a theme already here with the words I'm saying, that needs to be shared. Like one of my big goals, whether it's an ESOP or phantom equity or whatever, like I want everybody in our company to financially benefit. And I'm talking like some form of life-changing financial reward through our success when it comes and when the time is right. And like, as much as I would love and I'm open to kids, I'm kind of a late bloomer in that regard. If I'm not fortunate to have that kind of legacy, I'm getting to the point in my life where what is my legacy? Those are the things that weigh on my mind. It's like, what kind of legacy can I leave? Well, that would be one. Really changing other people and families' lives financially. And I feel like there's a good chance we'll be in a position to do that.
Yeah. No, I am very confident that we will be. Some of the opportunities, not some, a lot of the opportunities are astounding, to say the least.
Yeah.
And
who we partner with is important. I want it to be with people that we trust.
It has to be. That is like trust and transparency, right? Like, and those are the two things that we will talk about nonstop. If we don't have transparency, you can't have trust.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't have trust,
they go hand in hand. It's not one or the other. It's both.
Yep. And if you don't have trust, why are you doing this? Right. You're second guessing all the time. You have no ability to be confident.
It innately puts most people in a state of fear.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Doubt arises, and all momentum can be killed just like that from that. So absolutely making sure that we have all the people on board that we trust, that can be transparent.
Another one that really excites me is figuring out and transforming our accounting and finance function into a modern day finance and accounting function. And what that means, I think, is evolving every day with like technologies like AI. Like historically, it was all about managing the books and treasury management, AP and AR and procurement and your fixed assets and taxes. And that all still remains true, but most businesses need to start, if they're not already thinking it could already be too late, but like you've got to start not thinking historically, because you're reacting to stuff that's happened so long ago that you're putting yourself further and further behind. And to me, finance is more about modeling and scenarios and what ifs, and it's not annual budgeting. It's going to be dynamic budgeting and dynamic forecasting and dynamic 13-week cash flow forecast. We're not going to be doing that once a day, we should be able to do that at any point in time at our fingertips and have a pulse on all those aspects of the business. And then it becomes more about the what ifs and the prediction and using data to kind of predict out the scenarios of like, okay, if we go down this path, it means this. This is our failure point. It's not about like how we did versus budget last quarter. I mean, that'll still be true.
Yeah.
But then it's taking, okay, here's how we performed last quarter, but here's how we stay on track. Get
Refining
back on
our
track.
ability to predict.
Yeah. It's going to become way more about that. And technology, like AI is going to be, I think, an integral part of not only that, but then being a force multiplier for every team member of not just my team, but several departments. Like for me, it's the game changer to, I mean, the speed at which I can get things done now, things used to take days, weeks, and months. I can get them done in minutes and hours.
Like what?
Oh, anything from my sustainable growth plan rock. Something like that would have taken 6 months and dozens of meetings at an organization like US Bank and 6 rounds of redrafting and a steering committee and a blessing by a steering committee. I feel like I can get that done in three drafts in 1 quarter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. No,
And but to get to draft 1 took me hours, not days and weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
and then that can be the foundation for a pitch deck to raise money and bring investors in. Like it's a force multiplier in that sense, and it's really, it expedites the speed at which it takes and the cost, because like I remember days where you'd hire a marketing agency and they'd build you this big creative deck and you'd have to meet and give them feedback. Well, you can just do that all through Claude now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Yeah.
For nothing. Like,
yeah.
You don't even have to do the paid version.
Yeah, because you're paying this person probably pretty well.
Yeah.
For 6 months to get you a pitch deck
and
that the industry could change and it's outdated, right?
Yeah. But if you can spend the time in enough training of that model, like you can get that in like half a day's work.
Yeah.
And just feeding AI what it needs to do the creative.
Yeah, AI has really transformed how we do things. It's been just, I don't even think it matters what it is, right? I mean, if we need to figure out filling out forms, it's capable of that.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I am a little weird. Like, it's a great thought partner. I was at a CFO forum, and this is coming from companies with like way more technology resources, and a lot of the CFOs we're talking about. It's still very early stage. Be very mindful of like to start using it as the backbone for technology and data exchange. It can solve one problem, only to create 10 more.
Yeah.
And it's for a lot of companies that are trying to lead that charge, they're finding it's causing more headaches and friction than actually solving problems.
Sure.
Because it'll solve that problem only to create 6 more elsewhere. Mm-hmm. And that's where, as much as I'm a believer in it, I want to be cautious because it's still very early stage, but it's also coming and transforming at such a pace. I don't think I've ever seen a technology evolve as fast as how AI is evolving.
Let's see. I think it was a year ago. I was down at my peer group, and this lady had a marketing agency. She had rebuilt for the 3rd time.
Yeah.
Completely in the last year and a half because AI was changing marketing that much.
Yeah, like their business model is totally being disrupted.
They are now an AI teacher.
Yeah.
That's their model.
Yeah.
Teaching companies how to use AI to market. And that was just wild to hear from her. And we weren't even hardly using AI at that point, right? So I come back and I tell everybody about it. And there was a couple people who were, all right, let's do it. Let's go wild on it. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad that you were on it because the stuff you're able to do. And
Well, no, I think it's a question we ask everybody at the company, anybody that we're interviewing, like, how are
Yeah.
you using AI? Like,
Yeah.
it's part of that. It's foundational already.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, it's crazy. But yes, I do wonder where its major drawbacks are going to start showing up, because there's not a thing on this planet that doesn't have a con.
well, it still requires human agency. Like, there's a lot of fear of like, oh, it's gonna replace everyone, and there may be some truth to that in certain jobs, but there's also, to me, there's also opportunity. Is the glass half full or half empty? Again, that's an emotional
Perception.
state of being and
Yeah.
perception. I'm in the, you know what? I'm going to become an expert in it. It's a force multiplier. It allows me to actually add more value, which some of the best advice I ever got was know your worth and don't ever compromise on it. And to me, it just unlocks my ability to bring value to an organization. But it's going to require a human agent to operate it for quite some time, in my opinion. The whole it converting to a sentient being and
Yeah.
all that, like, maybe that happens someday, maybe it doesn't. I'm in the camp of it doesn't, but time will tell that tale.
Yeah.
And whether it does or doesn't, it doesn't scare me.
Right.
I'm not going to let it scare me.
Well, that should be fun for Al if it does.
He's like, yes, he's screwed. He needs to be nicer to AI.
Yes, he does. Shoot.
I mean, the other thing I'd maybe wrap on is, you asked about the future. I mean, I'm really focused on my health, especially with what happened with my dad. I don't want to be another stark male statistic. Like, they have a history of dying due to heart-related issues young. Like, he had an uncle that died in his 40s. A lot of his dad's brothers died in their 50s. Actually, my dad's dad was the one that made it the longest to his early 70s. He died of a stroke. So I'm definitely working on my heart health. Need to lose some weight. I'm on a weight loss journey, as you know. Just started taking a Zepbound tirzepatide and a GLP-1. I'm actually kind of really excited about that, and it seems to be working without side effects thus far.
Awesome.
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, no, it's really enjoyable to be around a team that everybody's trying to be their best selves. It's not just about professional, right? Like, there is no separation of personal and professional. It's all mixed in. And just being able to be authentic about, you being like, hey, I really want to work on my faith and weight loss journey.
Yeah.
Sweet. Let's do it.
Yeah. I love that, like, I have the support network to, like, back that up and encourage it, So even like your check-ins, like, with me, hey, how's that going? And you keeping me accountable, like that. I love that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm glad I can do that for you, because it's we've all got a lot of aspirations. It's just hard to be accountable and stay on top of them all. So
100%.
All right, so for our audience, the millions of people who are going to watch this
Someday.
yeah, someday. What thought, statement, what do you want to leave off with that they should know about you, maybe CFS or them and their journey, your forge moments? I mean, you pick what's on your heart, but
man, I mean, I'm gonna double down on there is one investment that will never go wrong if you put in the work, and it's in you. I hope that motivates someone somewhere. It's taken me to levels I've always aspired to get to, but I don't know that I ever would have actually truly achieved where I wanted to get to had I not invested in myself. So invest in yourself. Surround yourself with people who support that, who don't draw from your energy, that fill your cup. You can have them in your life, but set boundaries.
Yeah.
That's maybe on the personal side. Professionally, I mean, crop fertility services, in my opinion, is going to be a big name in ag, and we will transform agriculture to where manure and maybe a manure-based, not maybe, a manure-based pellet or super pellet competes and stands toe-to-toe with synthetic fertilizers. And to me, that's a key cog to really helping America become truly healthy again, because it starts with the soil, then it starts with what we feed the soil. And synthetic products, in my opinion, just create dead soil.
Yeah.
And therefore less healthy food. And nobody's talking about that. There's a groundswell, and I think it's going to get momentum, and it needs more awareness and more media coverage, and I'm confident that's coming. And we'll be helping lead that charge and transforming America to being a healthy nation again. I look forward to that day, and I mean, if you think about that, when that's accomplished, that's a generational impact.
Yeah. Yep. That ideally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm really glad to get to share this opportunity, this workload, all of it with you. And
if you see a snowmobile burning down the state trail on Lake of the Woods, it's me. If you see a loud Harley rumbling around in the Dassel-Cato area or in the Black Hills in Sturgis, it's me. Don't hesitate to say hello.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome.
Thanks, Scott. Thank you, brother.